Well, good morning. It is New Year's Eve. We got a little bit of snow, wintry mix falling on the ground. And it's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah, it sure has. All I'm going to say is that we had the flu rampaging through the house for about a week and a half leading up to Christmas. And it's been a struggle. I had to work through that time. And of course, wanted to spend time with family. And there wasn't much hunting going on because we were all sick. But we got some good weather, good winter weather. It's temperatures dropping, got snow falling, and we're gonna head back to Greene County, and we're gonna try and maybe wrap up our season. It's been a long season. I think I've passed more deer than I ever have in my life. But we're going to go back to the Greene County farm because that farm, it's kind of no holds barred. There's really no rules. I mean, we want to shoot good bucks if they're available, but definitely wouldn't mind knocking down a doe or two, and we definitely have the right weather. So gonna get in the truck and get some hunting stuff organized, and then we're gonna head out to the farm, meet my buddy KV about 2 o'clock, and then we'll head to the woods. I gotta get another bow hanger. I got two. I'm heading right to the northeast corner of the farm. Gonna try and set up right in the corner there. Over this cut cornfield, still a ton of grain left on the ground. And hopefully that's the right spot, but I want the wind blowing right up over the pond, so definitely feels like a lot of west. Good wind speed. Should cover up a lot of our movement up the tree. Okay. All set up in the tree. Pretty cool tree. Got the pond right over my shoulder. And that northwest wind is cutting across the pond. I got a big deep valley to the north of me where they've been coming out in this corner. And I got great shooting lanes. You can see the tree. It's got these multiple trunks in front of me with branches breaking up my outline, so I feel like I'm pretty good, pretty ahead, even though I'm right on the edge where they're going to walk right in front of me. Just see what happens. Pretty excited to be back in a tree. Let's try and get it done. Well, 2 bucks came out. The second one is definitely bigger, probably. Probably mid 130s, maybe 140. Couldn't really tell because it was that last light. And they got to within 70. And I let it rip, and I shot right underneath him. He didn't even duck, he didn't even know. So they just walked off down the middle of the field. That's been my kind of season. Didn't even get any footage of it. Maybe on the Osmo I got a little bit of footage, but yeah, if we're gonna go down, we're gonna go down swinging, so there you have it. New Year's Day, God bless small town America, Moto, 365, 24/7, they're open, so got a little bit of caffeine in me. It's early, it's 4:50, we gotta get rolling because we're gonna go right back to that stand we were in last night. Wow. 6 does with that 1 buck. They came right out of the corner in front of me, and he was dogging all those does. just didn't want to walk around that cornfield last night with the deer were in it, and then this morning the deer came right through that same area. Try to minimize my ground scent. But I was looking at this cornfield with my binoculars, and it's been harvested, but man, there's a ton of grain left on the ground. So, which is good because we're gonna need that food source for the next 2 weekends. Can't complain, you know. This is the late season game. Always kind of seems like you're either in it or you're out, and if you're out, you're on the outside looking in. So it's all about making some systematic moves, some strategic moves to get just a little bit closer, get in bow range. So chess, not checkers. I don't know about you guys, but even though I'm getting down, I'm gonna go look around. I never go anywhere without my bow because you never know. I actually shot a turkey with my buddy Eric, and we had got down to check some trail cameras. And it's a good thing I had my bow because Tom came out with a bunch of hands. We were right there. So, yeah, don't ever go anywhere without your weapon. This is the trail. It dumps down into the bottom there. You can see down in there. That's a big valley. That would be the tree right there. Probably get this one right here. This is a tree that we cleared out earlier in the season. We had to kind of corkscrew our way up and have the stand facing to the south. But that is probably going to be the best bet. But you need some type of northeast wind, not northwest. In the morning, you get on it because the thermals will be going up, but wow. You can see how thick it is in here. That's why the bucks are in here, though. Thick cover. Close to food source. The things you do to kill big deer. I am in this hedge tree full of thorns. I'm just glad KV's got a saw for me because I gotta trim these limbs out before I get stuck full of holes. Alright guys, we made a mad dash to the farm. We're running late, we gotta get to the tree. As we're driving in, I see several deer crossing the road, so I know they're moving early. And we're gonna head right to that stand that we hung in that hedge tree where those bucks were coming out. I'll see you from the tree. It's very, very, very tight quarters with the camera arm. I've got it set up right under my armpit, so that way when I stand up, I've got it right at arm's reach. And I don't know if you can see it behind me, but that is a big, deep, nasty ditch other stand location. I had the wrong wind, but it would have been a chip shot. And then one doe circled around me, got within 40. This big limb right in front of me. Honestly, was saving me because it was breaking up my outline. She kept bobbing and weaving, trying to figure out what it was. Hopefully that's a good sign for tonight. Hopefully more deer come out. Looks like my 2023-2024 bow season is going to end up with just a couple does feeding off into the distance. I think as I've gotten older, I definitely don't feel the pressure and I don't feel the depression as the season winds down. I think I've just come to grips with not having any regrets in bow hunting. Guys, it's January 20th. It's about 6 days after the season closed here in Illinois. And we're pulling the stands today. And we're going to do some scouting after we get done with our work on the farm. But man, I really just wanted to get out on the farm, pull these stands. I got a few random bow hangers and trees I had to get back and then kind of recap the season. It was definitely anticlimactic. So honestly, I feel bad for you guys following along because there really wasn't a lot of deer killing. There was definitely a lot of deer hunting. But man, it was enjoyable nonetheless. Hunted public land for years and years and years. And now actually having some private access has been a real blessing. So we got some work to do. Better get to it. I'm actually in the tree that I finished the season in. And I was right across this corner here on this cut corn field. And there's a lot of spilled grain left in this field at the end of the season. And these bucks kept coming out right in the middle. So I moved into this hedge tree, which is not very high up off the ground, maybe 12, 13 foot, but I'm very well covered. I am gonna have to modify this this tree a little bit for next season. The trunk of this tree actually leans forward towards the trunk or towards the truck, and you're actually kind of pointing down. It's not very safe. So I'm probably gonna nail a couple boards to the base of the tree, raise that platform up so I'm not facing down. It was pretty sketch. So it's cold. It's like 8 degrees. I'm gonna get to work and pulling this set. Didn't really mean to leave the capture arm in the tree for a week and a half, but looks like she's holding up okay. All right, that stand's pulled pretty easy. Only got one stand on this farm to pull. That's good. And now the fun part, I wanted to walk this trail. This trail leads down into a big, deep valley. We don't have the property that's behind us. That's the neighbors. They have most of the valley, but we have this hillside. And I wanted to walk this hillside to the property line to see where these bucks are coming from. And there's just tracks everywhere, so let's go take a look. Yeah, kind of like I suspected. 2 really good trails to access this field. And I don't know what they're gonna do. It's still in corn stubble. I don't know what the farmer's gonna rotate into beans. Usually that's what happens. I always seem to feel like this farm hunts better when it's in corn. But we're gonna take a little walk over to the other side. It's what we call the killing tree. It's right on the western property line. And that's gonna be a site where we have some habitat projects that we want to implement this spring. And it's always good to walk it in the wintertime when the ground's froze, snow on the ground. You can see exactly where the deer are coming through. And that's a big old rub right there. So let's go take a look. So where I'm at right now, you can see it's opened up, and you can see V's shooting shack right there. And this is actually an old, dried up cattle pond. And we have access coming from the west. There's a trail coming right to me where I'm standing. And there's a trail coming in where I walked in from the valley. And this is the site that we want to plan out. We're going to open the canopy up a little bit. There's already a lot of sun hitting the ground. So we should have no problem setting up a pretty nice little kill plot. It's just something that we kind of game planned on. I don't know if you can see that levee that's right there. It dumps down off into that valley. And we would love to put some food right here for rut into late season, maybe a brassica type plot, just to give the deer somewhere to stage up, because they always enter the field at dark and they're back here. So give them somewhere to hang out, and maybe we can get an arrow. There's a perfect tree right there for a hang on stand. So, but yeah, it's pretty exciting for me. You know, you don't definitely get to do game planning like this on habitat on public land. You can't change anything. You just hunt it as it is, but on permission ground, the landowners kind of give us the green light on do whatever you guys want to do as long as it's in the timber, not in the field. So feeling pretty good. All right, on to the next farm. A few more stands on that farm, a few more bow hangers to pull, and we'll be all good for the day. It is cold. Well, today just got interesting. On the way back from Greene County, must have hit something. Good thing it's a 10-ply tire, barely made it to the shop. Get this thing plugged and get aired up. Hopefully that tire's still good. Really lucky that Blake and Dale were at the shop today. And really lucky that the tire went down right around the corner from the shop. Barely crawled in there. Thank the good Lord for 10-ply tires, because I think if it was a regular, seed low range tire, she would have been a goner off the bead, and I would have been really screwed. So we got that tire plugged back up, and it looks like it's holding air, so lucky. But man, we got a ton of habitat projects to do this spring, and we still got to pull the rest of those stands. I've had enough. I'm heading home. I'm going to count my blessings and call it good for the day, because it's barely warmed up to 15 degrees. But we got turkey season coming up, bass fishing, maybe some out of state stuff. I get preference points for Utah. I put in for a Kansas turkey tag. I would love to get down in Texas and hunt axis deer with a bow. So y'all just stay tuned. Man, thank you so much for supporting the channel. We appreciate it so much. We'll catch you on the next adventure.